Good afternoon. Welcome to Teleislas News with the most relevant and important information of the day. The newly appointed Secretary of Tourism spoke with Teleislas News about the new challenges he faces in leading the portfolio and the projects he will develop.
The newly appointed Departmental Secretary of Tourism, Juan Enrique Arzboldao, offered details of the first actions to be carried out during his administration, which assumes the portfolio responsible for the first economic line of the archipelago, tourism.
The first thing that all islanders have to understand, and it is a challenge that we are going to start working on, is to learn that the island lives from tourism and everything has to do with it, no matter what activity you are involved in. We have urgent things like fixing the house. We have a week of recess coming up, and after that, the tourist season from December to January, which is very busy. And next year, we have the tourist showcase of Anato, for which we are invited as a destination. It is important to organize the house before that happens, get to perform maintenance and beautification of the island. We also have a lot of work to do at the airport in the reception of tourists, in the ochre filter, as well as the time of departure, to work to the cab issue, the rights of cab drivers, to prevent that right from being usurped by the vans, but also to recognize the right of the vans.
Arzboldao said that next year the archipelago will begin to receive cruise ships, which is why work will be intensified in the provision of services, strengthening relations with travel agencies, and initiating work to strengthen tourism infrastructure.
We will organize the provision of tourist services, look for ways to integrate agencies with our operators, and better rotate passengers to avoid concentrations in the same tourist sites. We visited the Cove that was affected by Hurricane Eta and Iota, and we are looking at how to invest resources because we are receiving confirmations that next year cruise ships will start arriving to the island, and we want to be prepared for that.
The official said that during his administration he will seek to bring the tourism economy to other areas outside the downtown area of the island through the empowerment of the communities and the tourist offers they have beyond sun, beach, and sand.
Representative to the Chamber, Jorge Mendez, was invited to the formation of the Caribbean Parliamentarians Bloc in order to seek spaces to build impact initiatives.
House Representative Jorge Mendez was invited to initiate the formation of the Caribbean Parliamentary Bloc. It should be noted that this is done by the Congress of the Republic, headed by its presidency, and in coordination with Confecamaras, leading and promoting at the national level the formation and integration of regional parliamentary blocs as spaces and instances of intersectoral coordination and communication between parliamentarians of the region, governors, mayors of capital cities, unions, and other organized sectors. According to the Congress of the Republic, this is a vital scenario for the departments to establish coordinated actions for the development of their region, emphasizing that the blocs have been conceived as scenarios to build different initiatives in an articulated manner, such as the definition of proposals within the framework of the formulation of the National Development Plan, as well as the general budget of the nation and many others of regional impact. This activity is taking place in the tourist and cultural district of Cartagena de Indias, in the facilities of the Proclamation Palace, headquarters of the governor's office, located in the historic center. On this occasion, the governor of the Department of Bolivar hosted the meeting, together with the district mayor as the city's chief authority and the Cartagena Chamber of Commerce.
And the Air Force has opened a call for those professionals who wish to join the institution as officers. Those interested have until September 25, 2022 to send their applications.
The Colombian Air Force extended an invitation for professionals with a vocation for military life to join the institution. Those interested should initially submit their resume with a white background photo in JPG format. This resume must contain their personal profile, date of birth, contact information, education, work experience with period of time, and studies completed. The requirements of the process are to be Colombian, have the military situation defined, be between 26 and 45 years old at the time of registration, have no judicial, fiscal, or disciplinary background, and attach the certificates issued by the Attorney General's Office, the Comptroller's Office, and the National Police with a date not older than 60 days of issuance. Likewise, the applicant must be a professional with a university degree, and civilian aviators must present a valid license. The applicant must also present a labor certification with a minimum of 4 years of experience in the exercise of his profession. Finally, the applicant must present an occupational medical certificate. Contact for applications should be made to Lieutenant Colonel Maria Patricia Balaguera Perdomo. The contact cell phone number is 315-303-4773 or email pbalaguera@yahoo.com. Applicants must take into account that at the time of registration, they must be affiliated to a health insurance company or EPS or its equivalent. And once accepted and the month following the start of the training course, they must have a life and personal accident insurance policy, whose coverage must be equal to that contracted by the Association of Professional Reserve Officers of the Military Forces.
The Rizal population has a public policy that is implemented through affirmative actions agreed with different entities of the District of Bogotá. In this framework, an activity will be conducted in the city of Bogotá, led by the organization of Rizal people outside the archipelago.
In the framework of the implementation of the affirmative action agreed upon between the Organization of Rizal People Living Outside the Archipelago, ORFA, the Territorial Directorate and the EC Subdirectorate of the District Secretariat of Social Integration, and activity will be conducted to promote the culture and social values of the Rizal people in the city of Bogotá.
Se llevará a cabo un diálogo social.
An exploratory social dialogue and social mapping will be carried out with members of the community with the objective of establishing key aspects of the current social, cultural, and territorial conditions of the Rizal population living in the city of Bogotá, in order to identify capacities, potentials, problems, and needs that contribute to the construction of territorial social agendas within the framework of Project 7749, which is a strategy for caring territories.
The activity will take place on Saturday, September 3rd from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the local mayor's office of Chapinero in Auditorium B, 3rd floor.
And now let's get to know other facts that today are making news in our brief news section.
The celebration of Senior Citizens Week continues in the department. The Golden Club Fraternity held a festival of flavors and knowledge, an activity that allowed residents and tourists to enjoy the traditional dishes of the region. The group of Carabineros of the National Police accompanied the children of the Bakarbite neighborhood in the execution of the Home Gardens program, with the aim of teaching them to cultivate the land and the care that everyone should have for the environment. In the Walwyn Peterson Bent Auditorium of the Departmental Government, the Secretariat of Health, through the Program of Social Participation in Health, recognized community leaders for their tireless work in the formulation, monitoring, and evaluation of projects, action plans, policies, strategies, activities, and actions through the different spaces of participation, such as the Territorial Council of Social Security in Health, Community Participation Committee, User Association, Health Oversight, Intra-Hospital Ethics Committee, among others.
And this is all for now. We see you tonight at 8 p.m. with more Teleislas news. Good afternoon.